Hello, welcome to Awesome Bros, and this week we're talking about a little subject that I always talk about: the balance between a healthy lifestyle and beer drinking. Two reasons why I want to talk about it this week. Number one, Nathan Does Beer just released a fantastic little article on BOS podcast website about the same subject. And number two, this little beer right here, which I will jump into it a little bit later in the video. Why does balancing beer drinking and a healthy lifestyle together matter? First of all, mental health. We just talked about it a lot in the past week because of the World Mental Health Day and all that. So I think it's important to keep that in mind when you have a beer drinking habit. It's not a bad habit. It's a passion for a lot of us, and some of us maybe hide this passion or hide the fact that they're addicted to beer with the fact that it's a passion. I know it might sound weird, but turning your alcoholism into a hobby might not be a solution. There's a lot of help out there. If you're looking for, be out there, be supportive with your friends. It's quite important to keep that in mind. Secondly, I think Nate stated it properly, is having passion outside of beer. It's very important, and if it can make you move, then it's 100% much better. Nate is a big fan of yoga. That's how he kind of like gets it out there and also earn his own beer time. I talk about earning beers because when we look at this one, we're clocking at roughly 180 calories. If we talk in burpees numbers, we're talking about 15 minutes of straight burpees, which is a little bit, that's a lot. That's quite a lot. But when you look at it, if you do go out there and work out 3 times a week and put up some of the work and you earn those calories back, you need to eat calories. You need to fuel your own body. If you haven't watched the video on calories, I suggest that you guys check it out right now. Max really breaks down all the facts about calories in beer. I think it's very important to know that when you're eating or drinking, thinking in numbers sometimes just puts things in perspective that make you reflect and also think about, should I get another one, or this one's gonna probably make it for me today. I'm all saying this because I had a very important year on this side of things. I realized that I need to probably take myself the time and also the care to push my body forward and also think about my own health before my hobby. And it really changed and put a new perspective on me and on how I want to push the channel and how I want to create content. I'm limiting myself to only weekends when I drink beer right now, which really, it's hard because you're always out there, always hanging out with friends. And yes, you can sneak in a couple of beers here and then, but timing yourself really reflects it, but also makes it that every single time you take a beer becomes an event and not just something that, like a habit. Switching from a habit to an event might be the key here, but also jumping in new passions, doing more photography on my side. I just got into my first year of doing CrossFit, and now I'm literally participating into the Open, which is some not little, but pretty big games where all the athletes go head to head into different workouts every single week for a month. And it's literally, I don't know in what I'm jumping into, but it's a crazy experience. And also you find new communities and they teach you the different ways to balance out your lifestyle. And I think that it's very important to attach yourself to folks that are outside your own hobby because it opens up your mind to new perspective. All this to talk about a beer, you'd say. Not really, but I think that having options out there that are low in ABV or with no alcohol at all is important. It helps balance things out and also kind of like limits yourself to not just drink 8% beers. I know it's probably the same number of calories out there, but if you go on ABV point of view, I think it's very fantastic to have options out there. Which brings me to Echo Session Ales. If you don't know about them, I already did a video on their beers and they just released a new Session Red Ale brewed with rooibos tea. It's a tea, it's a red tea. But this beer, it's a red ale, clocking in at 3.7%. And as you can see, when we crack the can open and fill up your glass with it, nice red tint to it, I love it. And on the nose, you get a little bit of those red berries aromas, and that body, you can smell it. You get a little bit of the caramel notes, it's nice. But when you take your first sip, that's where you get a little bit of that mouthfeel that's in there. For a 3.7%, gotta say, there's something in there, and there's a little bit of power to it, which I enjoy it because sometimes low ABV beers do feel thin sometimes. So when you take your first sip, it's round, you get a little bit of fruitiness out there, caramels out there. You get a little bit of the dryness from the malts, which I really enjoy in red ales. It's not common, we don't see a lot of red ales, but I do think that this one, for a session, it has the punch that you're looking for. An extra bonus to Echo Session Ale for giving away 1% of their sales to a foundation that takes care of rivers. I always talk about it a little bit. I think that there's a lack of initiative sometimes from breweries to give out to the environment or just environmental suggestions. So usage of packaging, the usage of electricity, or the way they treat their own water. It's always something important because, as we all know, beer is roughly 70% water, maybe more. I always forget what's the ratio. All right, so that's it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this little dive into the balance of beer. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I highly recommend it. You'll get a notification every single time we have a new video, which is the way to go if you want to learn more about beer. And if you want to get your hands on this little article, the link is going to be down there in this description. Go support Nathan Does Beer. Go support BOS Podcast. Support the channel at the same time. Buy their merch, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.